Oh my goodness. So I just got done reading about 200 pages of the coronavirus relief and stimulus program, and there's a lot of interesting things in there for us real estate investors and landlords. So I'm going to go and unpack and break down the key things that we need to know for real estate investors and landlords. Number one being the Recovery Rebate, which is the $1,200 check that everyone's getting. And there's some interesting things in there that a lot of people are missing right now. So I'm going to go and unpack that. Number two, we're going to go and unpack the SBA Loan, Economic Injury Disaster Relief Loan for qualified businesses. We'll go and unpack that as well. Very interesting stuff. Forgivable loan, no personal guarantee. We'll talk about that throughout this video. And the last thing we're going to go and talk about is going to be that $10,000 Emergency EIDL Grant for qualified businesses. So we're going to go and unpack all those things. So stick around and let's go and dive in. Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Kwak here, one of the Kwak brothers, and in this video, we're going to go and unpack and break down the things that are in the CARES Act, which is the coronavirus stimulus and relief program that President Trump just signed a couple of days ago, and there's a lot of interesting things in there for us landlords and real estate investors alike. Now, before we dive right in, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want more information about the Relief Act, as well as growing your passive income and growing your portfolio. Now, before we get any further, I just want to make sure that you guys understand that I am not an attorney, I am not a financial advisor, nor am I an accountant, so make sure you talk to someone who's more of an expert than I am. The information that I'm going to provide you guys today is more my interpretation and what I believe is true about the CARES Act. So let's go and first talk about the recovery rebates for individuals, and this is something that everyone's talking about right now, which is the $1,200 check that everyone's getting. If you're single, $2,400 for eligible individuals filing joint return, and $500 for each qualifying children. Now, of course, there's a limitation on this. If you're making more than $75,000 as a single individual, adjustable gross income, then the check sort of tapers off and you get less amount. Now, the key thing that I want to focus on, this is something that a lot of people are missing and don't quite understand, is the adjustable gross income part, the adjusted gross income part, which is AGI, and a lot of accountants refer to this as above the line and below the line. Now, for us landlords, real estate investors, entrepreneurs, and small business owners, this is really, really important because the adjusted gross income is the income amount after our business write-offs. So let's say if you make $150,000 in a given year and you have $75,000 of write-off, business write-off and expenses, then you would qualify for the full $1,200, assuming that you're a single individual. Now, of course, this may look different if you have a spouse that's employed as a W-2, or you may have to ask an accountant for that. In fact, we will have an accountant to come in to provide a commentary on this. But if you are making, let's say, $150,000 or $200,000 gross income in your business, that also includes you, landlords, and you have deductions and business expenses that take you down to that $75,000 level, then congratulations, you get the $1,200 check as well, just like everyone else. So just because you make a lot of money doesn't necessarily disqualify you from the recovery rebate, the $1,200 check. Be sure to talk to your accountant about what your AGI is going to be and how you qualify for the $1,200 check. So if you make more than $75,000 as a business owner and you just realize that you can qualify for the full $1,200 check, be sure to hit that like button, turn the like button to blue. Now, the second thing I want to talk about and break down is the SBA loan, which is something that a lot of people want me to cover. In fact, I have a Facebook group dedicated to real estate investors and landlords, and they all wanted me to make a video about this because this is a hot topic right now. Now, to qualify for this business loan, you have to have no more than 500 employees, which I'm sure makes up a lot of you guys watching this. You were also in operation on February 15, 2020, meaning you can't just go and make a business today and go apply for a loan. That doesn't work. Now, what's really interesting about this loan is that it's non-recourse, which means that if you default, meaning you stop paying, the lender cannot go after you to recover the funds, which is actually really interesting. Not a lot of loans are non-recourse. Also, another interesting thing is that it's no personal guarantee required and no collateral required as well. There's no fees when applying for the loan as well. So it makes it very, very easy for you to get into this loan, which is very interesting. Now, to apply for the loan, you do have to make a good faith certification, meaning that you sign a paper saying this is true, that the uncertainty of the current economic situation has impacted your business, which it has for a lot of you. Number two, acknowledging that funds will be used to retain workers, maintain payroll, make mortgage payments, lease payments, and utility payments. So basically the essential things to run and keep your business going. Number 3 is that you do not have a pending application going, meaning you can't have 2 applications and try to double dip the money, so to speak. And also, you've never received any funds between February 15, 2020, all the way through December 31st, 2020. So essentially it means that you can only tap into this loan once and once and only. Now, when it comes to the term of this SBA loan, it is 10 years with no more than 4% interest rate, which is very, very cheap money. It does come with a deferment option, which gives you, by default, up to 6 months of deferring, meaning you don't have to make any payments for 6 months. And you can request up to 12 months of deferment, meaning if you request it, you don't have to make a payment on this loan for up to 12 months, which is essentially a year. So what do you guys think about this loan? Leave your comments down below. I think this is a great program, a fantastic relief, as well as a stimulus to small business owners. Now, what's most interesting about this SBA loan is that it's forgivable. Under Section 1106, Loan Forgivable, page 41 of CARES Act, it appears that if you use the funds for payroll cost, payment of interest on any covered loan, non-personal payment, payment of rent obligation, utility payments, the loan can be subject to forgiveness. Now, I am digging more into this, trying to get more details because there's other subsections that describe what it means to have the loan forgived. But essentially, if you use the funds appropriately under the CARES Act, your loan amount is essentially canceled and forgiven for good. So all in all, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and create a separate video just on how to apply for this loan. So if you want to see that video, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel because you don't want to miss out on the details. Okay, so let's go and talk about this $10,000 grant that the SBA is giving out. It's called the Emergency EIDL Grant, page 666, section 1110. This is a grant that's given out to individuals that apply for the SBA loan that we just talked about. So the process is you apply for the SBA loan, and within 3 days, the SBA has to give you an advance of $10,000, up to $10,000 of a grant money. So it's not necessarily a fixed $10,000 amount. It's up to $10,000. Now, there is an eligibility requirement, which is you have to have a business no more than 500 employees or an individual who operates under a sole proprietorship, and you have to have the business for at least 1 year. So again, you can't just go out there, make up a business, and apply for this. You have to have the business for a year. Now, again, the grant money has to be given to you. The advance has to be given to you within 3 days. Now, if you are denied the loan, it's interesting that you get to keep the grant money. There's no repayment requirement if you get denied for the loan that you applied, the loan that we just talked about. So the grant requires no repayment. If the loan is approved, the grant money is then reduced from the loan forgiveness amount for the loan for payroll costs made. This is on page 70, line 20. Okay, so let's go and recap what we talked about in this video. First point, we talked about the recovery rebate for individuals. It's very important for us to understand the concept of AGI, adjusted gross income. If you made $150,000 last year or 2018 with your business, and you had a write-off or a business expense of $75,000 or more, you would qualify for the full $1,200 rebate for the tax credit. Number 2, we talked about the SBA loan, the EIDL loan. I'm going to go ahead and make a video on how to apply for it, and that's coming up very, very soon. We also talked about the $10,000, or I should say up to $10,000 grant, the Emergency EIDL Grant that's associated with applying for the loan. So stick around, everybody. I'm going to provide some more updates. I'm reading more into the CARES Act. So if you guys love this video, be sure to subscribe and like the video and leave any questions you have about this program down below. We'll love to have a conversation with you guys. All right, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.